Do you think that without the large security and police presence, they might push the envelope further by that?
100% for sure, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So is this the new normal, ladies, in Canada, that if an event is happening at a synagogue or a Jewish community center?
The government allows it.
And
The liberal
with the new
government.
government, it's going to get worse.
I mean, that's the sad reality. And I think after last night's results, I think the Jewish community, myself included, we feel abandoned. And, we're all thinking about whether this is the Canada we need to stay and fight for or pack up and leave. And it's a sad state of affairs.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in North Toronto. And you know what, folks? I think we now have a new answer to our oft-asked query of how low can the pro-Hamas supporters go when it comes to carrying out their despicable and sometimes illegal behavior. And it's this low. As you can see, I'm standing outside the Beth Emeth synagogue. And this synagogue is staging Yom HaZikaron. This is an official memorial ceremony for Israel's fallen soldiers and victims of terror. This should be a solemn and respectful occasion, but look at what we have found. We have the members of the Hitler Youth Movement, the Next Generation, and they're here to chant genocide and who knows what. You will also notice there is a huge law enforcement and security presence. And you know, it's funny, I hear them speaking my name and the name of our news organization. I don't want to make us part of the story, but I will oblige and see what kind of nonsense he's saying. But, you know, it is just absolutely remarkable that the amount of disrespect these people show, that there is a solemn vigil that is taking place behind those walls, and they come and chant their usual nonsense. And you got to wonder, how will they push the envelope this time? Will they actually storm the synagogue? Good luck there. There's these security fences that have been erected. But even if they did, what will be the reaction of law enforcement? Turn a blind eye and a deaf ear, or God forbid, deliver them Timbits and coffee. So we'll see how this plays out, but their very presence here is disturbing. And doesn't it speak of a double standard? Can anyone remember in recent history when you see people, demonstrators, protesters going to a mosque and making all kinds of nasty and hellacious chants? I don't. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly would not be comfortable standing outside a mosque and doing the same thing and waving the Israeli flag.
You know, that's very interesting, sir. We do not see that, do we?
No.
You know,
I mean, because I think you need to show respect both sides, and I
Yeah.
think people should leave their conflicts at wherever they came from.
what do you make of these people disturbing this vigil for fallen soldiers and victims of terror?
Okay, because they are shame, no, poruchi میشه به این کانادا. They are
Someone with no shame, absolutely no shame whatsoever.
they are
Has the audacity to show up here in a day like this and with those ugly flags, just try to, this is harassment. This is harassment because they know that there is an event here and that they're here to harass us, harass the event and disrespect the event. This is disrespectful.
It's horrific. It shouldn't happen. And I think that our security, instead of sort of babysitting this, should be removing them.
Well, at least the police aren't delivering them coffee and Timbits this time around. But, you know, you raised a good point, ma'am. If there's a huge law enforcement presence here and security guards, and I see a sniffer dog over there.
They're doing their job.
And if they weren't here, though, ma'am, that's my question. Do you think they would push the envelope further?
Oh, I believe so. And you'd have to listen to what they're saying, too. What are they saying?
Well, earlier they were blaming Israel for a genocide.
They say death to Israel, death to America, death to Canada. You'll never see a Canadian flag. They're not nationalists.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hateful, it's harmful, and this is a time to remember Israel's fallen, and we're here to commemorate that too.
What we think? We have no opinion. They are low life.
Yeah. Do you think that without the large security and police presence, they might push the envelope further by that?
100%, for sure, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So is this the new normal, ladies, in Canada, that if an event is happening at a synagogue or a Jewish community
The
center?
government allows it.
And
The liberal
the new
government.
government, it's going to get worse.
I mean, that's the sad reality. And I think after last night's results, I think the Jewish community, myself included, we feel abandoned. And, we're all thinking about whether this is the Canada we need to stay and fight for or pack up and leave. And it's a sad state of affairs.
I know their history. We are Iranians, so we know them pretty well.
Right.
And I just also wanted to use this opportunity to tell the Jewish people, to tell the Israelis that we are with them. We support them, we love them, and we can't wait for the day that Iranians and Israelis can go freely visit each other country and enjoy.
Let's pray for regime change in Tehran. Too bad we didn't get regime change in Canada yesterday.
Oh my God, that was a disaster. Very disappointing, very disappointing. I did not expect that at all.
Well, at least Majid Johari lost his seat.
That's the only, very few positive things is Johari, it's out.
Israel still has hostages a year and a half after October 7, 2023, who are being hung upside down and tortured and tormented and beaten and starved while they're spewing their venomous lies, misrepresentation, disinformation, and hatred here in Canada and all around the world. And our democracies, our very democracies, are at risk. Britain, France, Spain, Portugal, Germany, it's an infestation of hate and venom.
And speaking of the Holocaust, October 7th, 2023, that was the largest slaughter of Jews in one day since the Holocaust. And yet I see these people who are pro-Hamas, they're playing the victim card. It doesn't compute for me.
Doesn't compute for any caring Canadian or for any caring person. And to accuse Israel, the only democracy in the entire Middle East, of genocide, when Israel has Muslims, Druze, Bedouins serving on the Supreme Court of Israel who are putting Jews in jail, to accuse Israel of a genocide when Israel is delivering 12-ton trucks of food that Hamas steals and sells on the black market. It's defamation.
Young teachers, is that your son in front of you? Don't teach him to raise the middle finger. You should raise your kids with a little bit better manner.
Folks, my favorite Yiddish word is chutzpah. It means sheer, unadulterated gall. And I don't know if we caught it on camera, but the fellow with the megaphone who won't stop chanting, he called out a young man walking past him, displaying the middle finger as a sign of rudeness. Yeah. So it's okay to chant for genocide. It's okay to crash a synagogue that is carrying out a solemn vigil. It's okay to display swastikas, to cosplay as Sinwar, but flip the bird. Oh, these jihadis, they're very sensitive, For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies.
Yes.
Do you think now that Mark Carney has a mandate, this sort of nonsense is going to get better or worse in the years ahead?
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay. Folks, after a year and a half of this nonsense on the streets of our Dominion, are you getting sick of it? I sure am. And I wonder how many of those people there displaying Palestinian flags and chanting all kinds of hateful rhetoric, how many of them are even citizens? Well, if you feel like we do, please go to our petition, deporthamas.com, deporthamas.com. And if you feel like we do, let's send a message to the authorities that if you are not a citizen and you are breaking the law and you are chanting for genocide, time to pack your bags and leave.